All right, shalom, shalom. I'm going to start off this video by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone where I learned the truth 100% according to the Bible. I also want to say shalom to the elect, the 144,000 men, prophets, servants scattered abroad the four corners of the earth, and shalom to the Akwaf, which are the sisters that are sincere, and your children, shalom. And in today's video is going to be titled, is just a quick testimony of being circumspect. Because we know as the Lord had told us in the book of 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1, it said, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. And when you look up that word perilous, it goes into times of, uncertainty, man. We're living in very evil times out here. So this is going to be, just a quick testimony of something I experienced yesterday. I was at the park teaching, as I do every week. The Spirit had me out there teaching. And then, there was these Jakes, that were in his car. And I seen this them in the car, because the Spirit always have you watching, always have you being observant and paying attention to the things around you. So, yeah, the truck, right? It was an SUV. It had circled around 3 times, 3 times while I was teaching. And I guess the people that were in the car probably thought that I didn't see them. But every time that they came around to the side where I was at, they would slow down. And it's like they would look at me. But these are the times in that it is that we're living in, brothers and sisters. That's why the Lord say in Ephesians 5 and 15 through 16, see then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. We're living in very deadly, serious times, brothers and sisters. That's why it's very important for us to always pray before we leave the house, man. Before we do anything, whatever it is that we may have planned for the day, it's important that we always pray. As the Lord has said in 1 Thessalonians 5 and 17, to pray without ceasing, because we're living in very deadly serious times. And I don't know what those Jake's intentions could have been. I mean, they could have been watching me seeking to do harm or anything. I don't know what their intentions was, but we know it tells you how the wicked creeping, roughly paraphrasing, how the wicked seek to slay the just, man, or the righteous. So we know that these people are watching us, that they're keeping tabs on us. They're watching everything that it is we're doing, and ultimately trying to seek to do something to us if they can. And we know they're going to do these things for us because the Lord told us that these things will happen in the last days, that we will be hated, and I'm going to go to a precept touching on that. This is St. Matthew chapter 24. I'm going to start at verse 9 in the NLT. It said, then you will be arrested, right? Persecuted and killed. You will be hated all over the world because you are my followers, right? So that's the time period that we're coming into, brothers and sisters, that sooner or later these people are going to seek to harm us, man. And that's just like that brother in LA. He was attacked by a demon not too long ago, so that's just going to show you, brothers and sisters, how everything is ramping up, man, because we're getting closer and closer to the time of Jacob's trouble. So the more you're going to have people coming out of the woodwork, threatening men of the Lord, seeking to harm them, things of that nature. It tells you that. I'm going to go to that precept. Bear with me. Bear with me. I'm going to get this precept. Because we're coming into those times, brothers and sisters, where people feel like it's going to be the right thing for them to do is to try to take us out or to do harm unto us, man, because they looking at us like we're the evil of this world. As it tells you in Isaiah chapter 5, verse 20, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil. These people look at us on the highways and hedges teaching the word of the Lord, and they look at us like we're the problem because this society is corrupted and filled with nothing but wickedness. So when they see anything that's not in the dark, they look at it as if they see anything that is involving light, which is the truth that we're involved in, the light of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, they look at us as the wicked, man, because everything in this world is in reverse. Right. This is John chapter 16, verse 2. They shall put you out of the synagogues. Yea, the time cometh that whosoever killeth you will think that he doeth Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai service. Right. So like I said, soon to come, these people are going to be seeking to take our lives, man, and seeking to do harm and things of that matter unto us, man. And they're going to think that it's the right thing to do. Because like I said, these people are possessed with all type of demons, man. And it tells us that in the book of Ephesians. I'm going to go to that, This is Ephesians chapter 6, right? And I'm going to start at verse, I'm going to start at verse 10. It said, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. We should be strong in the Lord, brothers and sisters out there, no matter what it is that may come against us, because at the end of the day, it's all the Lord's will, whatever happens. It's all being divinely orchestrated by Yahweh, by Shem Yahushai. And we got to trust in that no matter what, right? Verse 11, put on the whole armor of Yahweh, by Shem Yahushai, that ye may be able to withstand against the wiles of the devil. And that's what basically was taking place outside, yesterday when I was teaching or whatnot. It could have been the devil trying to distract. It could have just been people, like I said, because these demons are working through these people. They're operating. It could have been just the devil trying to get me out of character, trying to get a reaction out of you like these demons want to see. They want to take you off from teaching the word and trying to trick you out of your character, man. That's what they do. They want to get you upset and things of that nature so they can try to accuse you, man. A lot of these people out here are false accusers. They got an accusatory spirit on them. And that's the demon that they're operating in, that they're trying to, basically make you seem as though you're something you're not, man. Slandering your name and all of these different types of things. That's the stuff we're going to go through. Right. But this is verse 12, the point that I was trying to make. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, right, but against principalities, right, left hand spirits, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places, right? That's what we're warring against, brothers and sisters. So though that was, physical people driving in that truck, riding around, looking at me and taunting me or whatever the case they were doing, those were spirits that were inhabiting those people, man. And when you know these things, you know how to maneuver, because that's what we're battling against. This is not a fleshly battle that we're a part of. This is all spiritual, man. And you got to remain spiritual in this thing of ours, And that's when self-control and, ruling over your spirit comes into play. Because, if I didn't have self-control, the water that you have by Shem Yahushai, that could have been a situation, But I thank the Lord for allowing everything to work in my favor yesterday. Because we know, as the Lord has said, the Psalm 34:7, how the angels of the Lord encampeth round about those that fear him and delivereth them, man. Because like I said, I don't know what was on those people's mind, man. They could have been seeking to try to harm me, man. For all I know, because what else reason would you circle around a person 3 times in an all black truck, So this is the times that we're living in, brothers and sisters, that we got to constantly remain circumspect. We got to be vigilant. And I'm going to go to that precept. That's the spirit. First Peter's, right? This is the what we got to do, brothers and sisters. This is First Peter chapter 5, and I'm going to start at verse 8. It said, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, right? That's talking about the spiritual demon Satan, but it's also talking about the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man as well. As a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. And that's what these people are doing out here in this earth, man. These people are out here walking around seeking whom they can devour, man, especially those that are not like them, man, because these people are against anything that is righteous, man. Especially the 2/3 of our people, because, they hate the good, man. They hate men of the Lord, man. Nothing is new under the sun. They sought to, they killed some of the prophets and did wrong to the prophets back in the ancient days. And we know that there is no new thing under the sun. So these people, the Lord tells us that some of us are going to be martyrs. Some of us are going to be put to death and things of that nature, So a lot of our people are the main ones that's mainly against us, right along with Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. But these are the times periods that we're living in, brothers and sisters, that, things is going to continue to just keep ramping up and ramping up, So like I said, we got to constantly be in the spirit. We got to always pray. We got to always be circumspect, always be vigilant, always be aware of your surroundings, especially for you brothers out there that's making your body a living sacrifice, teaching his word. You got to always be aware, man, of who's around you, because you never know who's watching you, who's keeping tabs on you, who's, seeking to try to do harm unto you, because these are the times we're living in, very evil times, man. And I'm going to go to let me go to this precept. Bear with me. This is Proverbs chapter 22, verse 3. And it says, a prudent man foreseeth the evil, right? A prudent man being a man of wisdom, being wise, right? It tells you in Wisdom of Solomon that you shall allow wisdom to meet you at every thought, roughly paraphrasing it, right? So it says, and hideth himself. How do we hide ourselves? In the confines of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. We armor ourselves up. Going into what I read in Ephesians 6 and 10 earlier, and 11. You got to be strong in the power of the Lord and in his might, man. You got to trust in Yahweh Bashem Yahushua no matter what, And it says, but the simple, right, pass on and are punished. And that's the 2/3 of our people, those people that don't know that we're in a spiritual warfare, that we are wrestling against you know, entities and spirits, man. These people don't understand these things. That's why they go on and get punished, man. You know, they fall victim to all of these things that are out here happening in the earth because they're not spiritual, they're carnal, right? But this is why we got to continue to remain in the spirit, brothers and sisters, and just keep, you know, enduring, man. You know, beg the Lord to have mercy upon us because, you know, like I said before, we're living in some very deadly, serious times, man. You know, and these people, they see the people that are these demons out here that are on these people, man. They see that we're not like them, man. They see that we're walking the opposite way of the way that they're walking. They're walking that path that's going to lead to destruction, man. And we're on that narrow path, and they can see that when they look at us, man, through our spirit, because our spirit is shining right now at this time. And these people see it, man. And a lot of people, like I said, they're going to envy you and be jealous of you. They're going to hate you. They're going to seek to do harm unto you just for that light of Yahweh Shem Yahushua that's shining through us, man. You know, these people see that stuff, man. You know, and it irritates them when their spirit is not right. It irritates them. The demons in them can't take it, you know. So, like I said, all of this goes back into, you know, just us being, you know, cautious, brothers and sisters. We got to be cautious. We got to be, you know, wise. I'm going to go to that precept. The water the Yahweh Shem Yahushua. This is St. Matthew chapter 10. And I'm going to read verse 16 in the KJV. And it says, "Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves." And that's what we are, brothers and sisters. Us as believers, we're sheeps, right? And we're going out into this world amongst wolves, man. Amongst people that are dangerous, amongst people that are seeking to slay us, amongst people that are seeking to do harm and ill will towards us, man. This is what we're amongst in this evil world, man. You know, people that are wolves, you know, men and women, especially those of our own nation. 2/3 of our people, man. They're the main ones that hate us and the main ones that's against Yahweh Shem Yahushua, right along with Esau Edom, right? So it says, "Be ye therefore wise as serpents," right? So we got to use wisdom in these times. Like I said before, we got to be very wise in how we move, how we behave, how we deal, how we talk to people, how we allow people to get close to us, who we're around, all of these different things. We got to be wise as serpents, right? And harmless as doves, right? So that means you don't be out here trying to, you know, get in confrontations with people because they may look at you a different type of way or things of that nature. No, we got to remain spiritual in this thing of ours, you know, because we know that the Lord said, "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal," right? But spiritual through the pulling downs of strongholds, roughly paraphrasing in the book of Corinthians. So this is what we got to be in the spirit at all times, you know, because like I said, again, we're in some deadly serious times and things are just, you know, getting serious out here, brothers and sisters. So, you know, we got to be circumspect. But, you know, that's pretty much everything that I had to say with today's video. You know, just something quick through the spirit. Lord's willing to be edifying to you, brothers and sisters that come across it. Till the next time, I'm going to say shalom.